Well, we're going to get started. Again, thank you all so much for being here for the out of state student webinar for PLU. It's really great that we have so many people joining us from across the nation, which is really exciting. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here. I know people are coming from all different time zones and everything. So I'm glad we're going to be able to kind of get to hear a little bit more from current students who also are out of state students about their experience so far here at PLU and what that has been like for them. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a note that at the bottom of our Zoom meeting or webinar today, you can see that there's a Q&A little chat box. So as you have questions, feel free to put those into the chat box and we'll be able to ask some questions. I know we have some already prepared, but if we're able to get to some of those that you listed during the webinar, we'll get to those as well. Awesome. Well, I'm going to start it off. My name is Mara Johnson. I use she, they pronouns. I am an Office of Admission counselor here at PLU. I know I do have some out-of-state students who are in this panel, or not in this panel, in this webinar joining in today. So shout out to you all. They're actually deposited, so they're going to be Lutz in the fall, and I'm really excited that they're here. So I hope the rest of you can join in with them to join our community. I myself actually was an out-of-state student. So I'm from a small town in Minnesota and came out here to Tacoma for college myself, and clearly have stayed out ever since because I love it so much. So I really love working with out-of-state students and sharing my perspective. But again, I'm not going to be the one talking. It's the current students who are doing that. So let's get to our first question, which is not really a question. It's introducing you all. So if you all would like to go down the line, you current students, introducing us, your name, your pronouns, where are you from, what state are you from, what are you studying here, and then any extracurriculars that you're a part of. Awesome. Miles, can you take it off?
I can start off. So my name is Miles Nash. I use he, him pronouns. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And then some extracurriculars. My major is business finance. And then some extracurriculars I am involved in are basketball here on campus. And then I'm also a residential advisor, which basically means I look over some amazing Lutz and residents, about 15 to 20, and make sure their experience is as bright as possible. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. Tucker, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Tucker. I use he, him pronouns. I'm from Minnesota, and I am an English major with a music minor. And I would say the biggest extracurricular I'm involved in this semester is the orchestra.
Tristan, how about you?
Hi everyone, I'm Tristan Maeda. I'm from Oahu, Hawaii, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm a psych major here, and some of the extracurriculars I'm involved in is Hawaii Club. I'm the secretary this year.
Thanks. Katie?
Yeah, hi, I'm Katie Wood. I'm a second year here studying political science. I use she, her pronouns. And as for extracurriculars, I'm on the PLU dance team. I'm getting a minor in dance. And then I am also doing an internship this semester with the Washington State House of Representatives.
Incredible. Thank you all so much. All right, we're going to get right into it for questions. And the first that I have for you is, how have you been able to create a sense of community here at PLU? Tristan, how about you? Would you like to start off?
Yes, the way I've been able to make a sense of community here is, especially with the Hawaii Club, we have a lot of Hawaii students at our campus, and coming from all the way down there and everything, it's been really nice to have that sense of community that's familiar, but also our club also gets involved with other clubs on campus, so meeting people from the mainland and building those relationships I've really enjoyed. And my class sizes, excuse the cars in the back, but our class sizes are also really small or fairly small, and so getting to come into relationships and community with my classmates have also been helpful.
Thanks so much for that. How about Tucker? How about you? How have you been able to create a sense of belonging and community here at PLU so far?
Yeah, I think the main thing I have kind of done is, just recognizing who I maybe have some shared class with or things like that, and just saying hi to them if I walk by, and making sure that there's no days where I like don't see anybody or like
Mhm.
don't hang out with my friends. Like I don't. There's no days where I'll just sit in here or go somewhere by myself, which I think is helpful, especially being far from home to like know or make the space to not be by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's important. Absolutely. Um, do any of the other folks, excuse me, Katie or Miles, do you have anything extra you'd like to share about how you've been able to build a sense of community here?
I'll just say that I got a randomly assigned roommate, and I really like intentionally kind of tried to build a friendship with her, and then talk to the people that she talked to, and kind of that being my starting place was really helpful for me. Not everybody works that way, but that was helpful for me. And then I realized I forgot to say where I'm from. I'm from Salem, Oregon, so not too far, but still out of state.
Thanks for that. Yeah, that's important to be able to kind of create a web of connections as you're building that community here. Absolutely. And Miles, I know you're in basketball. Has that been something for you that's been important for creating community, or what else for you?
Yes, Mara, basketball, and I think has helped, and kind of like what Katie was saying, just getting to know your teammates and then kind of all their friends because they're across all different kinds of grades. And then also just in classes, I try to really make an effort to meet new people and new friends to help me with either study groups in the actual class or just to talk about some of the things we go over in class. And then people in class have friends, and like you said, that web just kind of kept getting wider and wider.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you all. Moving on to the next one. What would you say was your biggest surprise or unexpected challenge you faced when moving to the Pacific Northwest and Washington? Let's start off with Katie. I guess you're from the Pacific Northwest.
I
but-
am, but I do have a good answer for this. I was really shocked by the impact that it had on my like physical body, just like different allergens and different
Sure.
like I got the freshman flu so hard. And I think that really just surprised me that moving to a different space can really have an impact on your physical health and your as well as your mental health. And I was also really pleasantly surprised by the support system that PLU had for that. I was able to do the telehealth option and be seen by a provider here, and just really get myself taken care of. And so that was really helpful for me. I think the other thing is the sunlight was just, it's beautiful here, and then we hit winter and then it got pretty rainy, more
Mhm.
rainy than I expected. But
And when it was rainy, what have you done to be able to, power through that time or even embrace it?
definitely engaging with friends within our like dorm spaces. We do a lot of game nights, and so that's been really fun, and the kind of events that like RAs like Miles put on have been really cool. And then just having those like the shared spaces like the UC.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who don't know, Katie, can you share what is the UC? I know that we use a lot of acronyms here at PLU, but
yes, we do. So the UC stands for the Anderson University Center, and it has our like a coffee shop and our commons, so where all of our food is, as well as like a lot of soft seating and like spaces to hang out, tables to study at. It also has our loot locker, which is like our little store, and then a whole bunch of different resources are in there. So the third floor is all of our counseling center, and then the second floor has hospitality staff, and then the first floor is where all the clubs have their offices and everything. So it's a really good space to be able to get connected to people.
The Center for Diversity, Justice, and Sustainability is there too.
Yep.
Yeah, a whole lot of things. Thanks so much for that, Katie.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share about what were some of the greatest surprises or challenges that you encountered moving out here? If
I
not,
think just being away from home can be a little daunting at first. I think for me, just maybe not the rain, kind of like what Katie was saying, but I think finding like the first few people to kind of spread out your web was a little bit hard, and then but once you kind of find those first few friends and realize that everyone in the Luke community is so open and welcoming to making new friends, and a lot of them are first years, kind of thinking the same things you are, then so I'd say I guess just being a little homesick at first and trying to branch out of that, whether it's getting a workout in or just hanging out with friends and kind of staying busy so you aren't just sitting with yourself overthinking so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that I found to be really helpful to keep in my mind was that when I also was feeling homesick or feeling like I was alone here or during my time in college, you know, everyone is kind of building their college community, you know, from the ground up for a lot of the time. So it's good to also keep in mind that you're not the only one at all who's experiencing that. Awesome. Moving on. I know, Katie, you talked a little bit about this, but would any of you like to share about resources or support systems at the university that have been the most helpful for you in your transition here to Tacoma, the Pacific Northwest, and PLU in general? Trislyn.
Yeah, I would say the professors. I really like the professors here at PLU. I'm a psych major, and like once you declare your major, you're paired with an advisor who gets to work with you, plan out your schedules, plan out what you're gonna do after your undergraduate. And I've built a really good relationship with my advisor, and it's been really nice when especially in the smaller environment that we have at PLU, it's nice that your professors are more available for you to come in and into their office hours, or they know your name, they know where you're from, or just some kind of sense of just connection there. And so I've really liked having that resource here at PLU.
For sure. And Tucker, do you have anything more that you'd like to share about your time here, those support systems or resources that you've been utilizing during your transition?
Yeah, sure. So I would second the professors or the faculty in general. And they were really helpful for me because I came in not an English major. So kind of the process of switching that felt a little daunting without like having the support system of like people back home. I mean, obviously they supported me, but they weren't here.
Sure.
And kind of, I met with a lot of different faculty and professors asking for advice, and they were all like, it's okay, which was helpful to hear and gave me next steps. And I feel like they were not just giving me like a canned answer or something that they would tell everybody, but they like took the time to hear kind of what I was about and then tailored what they were saying to me.
Yeah. It's important to be able to build those meaningful relationships and find who those mentors are going to be during your time here. So I'm glad you've already been able to find some of those folks that have been important for you. The next question I have for you folks is, what advice would you give to other out-of-state students preparing to move here? Miles.
I would just say to be open-minded. There's so many opportunities, and there's so many great opportunities, whether it's something more of a physical activity, like intramurals or being involved in a sport on campus, or also there's so many great clubs based around majors or just cultures. I know I also didn't say I'm in like Black Student Union, and that just reopened up, which is really exciting. So I'd say just be open to the opportunities too much and just kind of jump in with both feet. And you can't go wrong. I think the Loopville is such a great community to grow from a young person into the person you want to become. So I would just say keep your mind open, and if you're thinking about trying anything, to just try it. So
Absolutely. Thanks, Miles. Anyone
I-
else have anything to share? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
Katie.
can I jump off of that a little bit?
Mhm.
The other thing that I would say is like that's not just true your first year or your first semester. Like these relationships that you build don't happen overnight, and you shouldn't expect them to. Like it's something that is gradual. And so even at least for me, like I got into my second year and I was like, I wonder if I want to try this instead of this. And you can do that. Like kind of Tucker mentioned with changing their major and all that. Like you can just jump into something different if you want to. That's what college is about, is trying different things.
Absolutely. Thanks for that insight, Katie. That's a good point. Tucker or Trislan, anything else you'd like to add?
Sure. I was thinking when you said moving, like actually like physically moving. Um, I know I'm somebody, I have a lot of clothes. So I would say maybe start thinking about that now. And especially if you have to fly, the challenge that that poses, but also like not being afraid to leave stuff at home. I think sometimes it can feel like, oh, if I don't bring this, there's no, it's gone, which is not true, because you'll go home and it's still there, and you can, get new things or experience new things, like everybody has been saying, once you move.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Thanks, Tucker. Yep. I feel like a lot of people I've heard from my experience and from even students here coming in, I hear a lot, wow, I actually brought way more things than I needed to, and then I don't use half of what I bring. So that's a good point. All right. Because all of you are out of state students, do you feel like as you've been here at PLU, it has been easy to make friendships and connections with both in-state students and out-of-state students? Trislan, do you mind sharing?
Yeah, I think the way I've made most of my friends here is not only through clubs, but just within classes. Like I think it's you kind of within a semester you're able to see like the same people every day, or like whether that's like in the class or outside of the classroom, and then you get new classes and then you don't see those people for a bit, and then you just become familiar with a whole new set of campus and everything. And so I I think as an out-of-state student, I've had to put myself out there in a lot of things. I keep telling myself to like build up the courage to build those relationships and everything. But I think PLU has also made it easier for me in some ways because just of the kind of people that we admit here, and just yeah, there's always just a friendly and familiar face on campus.
Yeah. And when you say the types of people that come to PLU or admitted to PLU, could you share just a little bit more about like what that means for you and what you have sensed from those types of students?
Yeah, I think when I first had a visit at PLU, it was like in my sophomore year, and that was still during like COVID and everything, but we came for like a basketball trip and we are just touring the school, and I just got even during that time when everything was closed, like I got a really good sense of community. I just kind of got a good vibe, I guess. And I just know that the people here are always kind and just reaching out to you and always willing to have a conversation, and they're very open-minded in a lot of ways, and they're just great people to be around.
Thanks, Tristan. Appreciate that. All right. Moving a little bit more to like your academics and opportunities that all of you have had so far during your time here at PLU. Have you found opportunities like internships, research, maybe teacher assisting, things like that, in the local area or even on campus that you might have not been able to have back home? Let's see. Tucker, how about you?
I'm a first year, so I would say the answer to that question right now is probably not really, just because a lot of those opportunities I think that would come later just haven't presented themselves. But I'm not afraid that I won't be able to like get an internship or student
Absolutely.
teach or anything like that.
Yeah. Thanks, Tucker. Tristan, how about you?
Yeah, right now this semester I'm a teaching assistant for one of the stats methods section for psych majors, and I'm also a research assistant for one of the professors here
Wow.
at PLU. And coming into this, I didn't think I'd be able to have those kind of opportunities. I think when you look at a smaller school, you don't expect to be able to do those things, but what I've learned, and I also went to a smaller school back home at HBA and stuff, and what I've realized in those environments is that with though we have a smaller population and it can be assumed that you'd have less opportunities, you actually have a great amount of opportunities because there are less students. And it's not to say that those opportunities are less competitive or not up to par as the other schools are, but because they are up to par and even exceeding in a lot of ways. But it's also given me so many opportunities to um be involved in things undergraduates don't normally get to be involved in. And also like upper division classes, like in my freshman year, spring of freshman year, I was already taking upper division classes, and being able to accelerate your program or take it however you want to take it, it's given me all these different opportunities, which I'm grateful for.
Thanks so much, Tristan. I'm so glad that you've been able to take advantage of all the different opportunities that have been providing yourself with so many different experiences and growing as both a well-rounded student, but as a whole individual too. That's really great to hear. Katie or Miles, do you have anything else to share about different opportunities you've taken, either internships, research, or anything like that? Volunteering?
Yeah, I'll touch on my internship a little bit with the political science department and the civic ed department at the in Olympia with the House and the Senate. I'm working with them. So you apply to be with the civic ed department there at the Capitol, and then they assign you to the House or Senate and then offices. And that's actually getting me 12 credits of my major right now this semester. So that is something that is available at every school in Washington, but I think what is not available is the kind of support that I've gotten from faculty and staff here. So I had 3 different professors work with me really individually on my application. I've had professors like write me letters of rec for it and look over my essay and my everything that I had to submit for that. And the fact that I'm getting so many credits and being able to do this like full time for a full semester is something that I don't think exists other places.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Katie.
Yeah.
And something too that you mentioned, based on your experience and your internships in Olympia, makes me also think about how even geographically, we're in a really incredible place too.
Yeah.
That there are so many opportunities within Tacoma and the surrounding area, but we also, like you said, we're so close to the state capital of Olympia to have those types of opportunities there. We're also very close to Seattle too. So you truly have this great proximity to so many different areas with so many different opportunities, just waiting for you to be able to take advantage of them. Thanks for that. Awesome. Would you say that being from out of state has given you a unique perspective in your classes or discussions? Miles, would you like to share any of that?
Yeah, I think it definitely has given me a unique perspective. just I think being in the high school I was in and coming from the state of Arizona, there's just different viewpoints, and I think it's allowed for kind of the best of both worlds, and kind of seeing like different different perspectives and different sides of each coin. And I think also like you were saying, I think it's helped meet new individuals as well, whether it's professors or other classmates, because I think since everyone wants to be helpful, I think it's pretty cool that you could ask a resident from Washington about like something about Washington that you wouldn't know about. Like I know when I first got here, like certain restaurants or just places to go like around the Tacoma area because there's so much to see. And then also I think with the out-of-state students, you can relate an aspect of how some of it feels foreign at first, and then just some of the struggles of being out of state, not being able to go home and stuff. So I think it's allowed for the best of both worlds. And then in the classroom, it just kind of allowed you to see it from a different perspective of where you were raised at to where you are now in Parkland. So
Totally, totally. And you mentioned the ability, being an out-of-state student, being able to kind of lean on more local students from the area to be able to get those recommendations for places outside of campus and things like that for you to be able to see and experience. So I guess my next question, which was a really great segue to this, is what are some of your favorite places on campus, off campus near school, or even within Western Washington, Tacoma area? Tucker, would you like to share?
Sure. In downtown Tacoma, there's like this block that's full of these like vintage stores or antique stores and stuff like that, and that's kind of stuff I'm really into. So it's cool to have that. I guess it's kind of a resource. It's not really a resource, but that place to go, I guess. And also the zoo in Point Defiance, I think is pretty cool as well. I'm a big zoo guy, so worked out well.
Did you hear that the baby tapir was recently born at the zoo in Point
Yeah,
Defiance? Yeah.
I see that on
Awesome.
Instagram all the time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And Antiques Row is an incredible place to go to. Absolutely. You're so right. Awesome. Katie, would you like to share some of your favorite places on campus or off campus?
Yeah, so on campus, I will say that there's lots of places to hang up a hammock. And so when it's really sunny, like today, and when it gets warmer, it's really fun to just be outside and you can wave at your friends as they walk by to classes. And I do a lot of my readings outside. So that's one of my favorites on campus. Off campus, there's a place in Lakewood called Mama's Pho, and it has
Yes.
the best, the best pho ever. And then I also am quite fond of the Glass Museum in downtown Tacoma, and that was really cool.
Mhm. I know that we've had for the last number of years, we've had a ham hopping club. So you can get involved in that, just not in a super organized way, but if you want to join a club for doing that, you can do that too.
Mhm.
Awesome. Yeah, and you're so right. Mama's Pho is also one of my favorites.
Oh.
Awesome. Trislin, how about you? Where have your some spots been for you that you've enjoyed?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of good Asian food around here, which I was a little worried about coming from home where that's just like abundant and so easy access to. And so there's like this one street in Lakewood that just has like Mama's Pho, like Katie was talking about, which we have back home. And there's a Soul Boba place. There's like one of my favorite Korean food places called Hosun-i on that strip as well. There's H Mart on that same street, and just like um having that option to go to is just really great, especially helping with being away from home and
Cool.
just filling up. I really like good food, so I'm really happy about that.
Mhm. It's a great way to also like build community too, to be able to kind of go together to these spots that you're finding together, um, and be comforted by something that's either different or familiar, as you were saying too, for yourself. Thanks for that. Miles, would you like to share?
yeah, I would say I really also enjoy Zen Ramen, and kind of like what Tucker was saying, there's a lot of cool vintage spots in downtown Tacoma and restaurants in Point Ruston. There's a Wildfin Cafe, I believe it's called, at Point Ruston, which I really enjoy. And then I'm also a coffee drinker, so there's a lot of good coffee shops up in
Yeah.
our area as well.
Totally. And for those of you who don't know, Point Ruston is just along the water, and we're close by the water, so you'll get to have a lot of great food along there too.
Yeah.
And Zen Ramen and Sushi Burrito, as Miles was saying, that's actually on Garfield Street. So for those who haven't been able to visit campus yet, that's literally a block off of campus. So even if you don't have a car with, you can literally walk a block away and have a lot of different places and opportunities to spend with your friends, even off campus, to get some good food, things like that. Wonderful. What else? What would you say? I know a few of you shared about clubs and organizations, but I know for those of you who have a number of years left, is there something that you are looking forward to? Maybe a club or an organization or a class that you've been really itching to get into, something that you are looking forward to maybe participate in or engage in during your time here at PLU. Tucker, would you like to join?
Yeah, I know the outdoor rec club or organization, basically they will go all over the state and they'll do hikes or different sorts of outdoors themed kind of stuff. And this year it's just been hard for those dates to work for me, but I'm going to try prioritize that more going forward. So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, wonderful. Outdoor recreation is a big thing here, and here in the Pacific Northwest, it's the perfect place to be doing those different excursions that student leaders lead. Thanks, Tucker. Katie, how about you?
There are a couple classes that I'm really looking forward to. One of the things that is really cool about PLU and that we've talked about a lot is that you really begin to build connections with your professors and you start to really like them and you like want to take more classes with them. And unfortunately, a lot of my favorite professors are on sabbatical right now. So I have two professors this coming year that will be on sabbatical and I don't get to take their classes. So I'm looking forward to them coming back and taking another class with them because when you click with a teacher, it really makes the class so much more enjoyable and easier to succeed in.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so right. How about you, Miles? Something that you're excited to maybe get engaged in during your time here?
Next, I'm pretty excited to join there's a finance and investment club here on campus.
Yeah.
So it's pretty catered to my major, but I know they go on a few competitions. Like they have a few weeks to prepare a presentation and a financial report, and going into that field of finance intrigues me a lot. So I'm excited to get involved with them this upcoming year.
Totally. I know we have a collegiate DECA group as well that has been doing really well at like the top competitions too. So lots of different ways to get involved in business and your other academics too, in different areas, even outside the classroom. Thanks for that, Miles. Trislin, how about you?
Well, outdoor rec is a really good one. One of my first mainland or Pacific Northwest hike this year, and it was so pretty, and I just I didn't know what to expect, and it was just I can't believe what I was seeing with my own eyes. But another one is maybe like pickleball intramurals. Me and my roommate did that last semester too, and we absolutely sucked. We're supposed to be athletic people, but we were just not coordinated in pickleball. So I think I want to give that another shot.
Totally. I know that there are some staff teams that sometimes play against the students in intramurals, and it is just an amazing time. That's super funny to watch the staff just get absolutely creamed by the students in the different intramural sports groups that we have. I know we have over 40 different intramural sports teams. So intramurals are a big thing here at PLU that students get involved in. Thanks for that, Tristan. If anyone who is joining us in the webinar has any questions that they'd like to be putting in the Q&A box down below, feel free to, and we'll see if we can get to those questions. But our next question that I have is, how has your experience here at PLU shaped your personal and academic growth? Katie, would you like to share first?
Yeah, sorry, I was reading the chat questions. Can you say the question again?
Yeah, absolutely. How has your experience at PLU shaped your personal and academic growth?
Yeah, to start with the academic side, I think the opportunities in the classes that I've been able to do within my major have really solidified like what I want to do next, which is what college is about, is kind of like you get the undergraduate degree and then you're able to kind of figure out what you want to do next. Sometimes I think of it as like adulthood with baby gates. It's like what you do first and then you do the next thing. And so for me, it's really solidified that like I want to go to law school next and I want to continue working with the legislature. And that's really what I feel like I was like made to do. And so it's been really cool to be able to figure that out. As for the personal side, I think I've learned a lot about the kind of person I am and who I look for when I'm creating friendships and relationships. And that's been really good. I think that's not necessarily specific to college, but specific to just growing up. But I also think that being at PLU and the kind of people that PLU attracts, which are the kind of people that genuinely care about others and want to see the humanity in other people, has really created a space that allows you to go through that personal growth a lot in a more supportive environment.
That's amazing. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
Tucker, I know you're in your first year, but so far, do you feel like PLU has been a place where you even just started to be able to be supported and have your personal and academic growth start to be shaped?
Yeah, of course. When you said that, the first thing that popped into my head was time management skills. Before college, I thought I was pretty good at managing myself and my time, but I think it's exponential, and I've definitely had to step up my game. And now my Google Calendar is like, if it's not on my Google Calendar, it's like doesn't even exist to me at this point.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I know that's sometimes growing pains when it comes to time management. Absolutely. It's a thing you figure out gradually, but it is an important skill to be learning in your first year here. Awesome. Miles, how about you? How would you say PLU has shaped and supported your academic and personal growth?
I think the relationships that I've been able to make have been really important to me, and I've valued like Katie was saying, it's not a relationship that happened overnight, but I've continued to water those relationships and I really value them currently. And I think I will continue to hang out with a lot of the relationships and people that I made after college. And then also I think going out of state, I think branching out into somewhere that's not home, I think it helps build your independence a lot and just also your growth as a person. But I think it's a healthy step in the right direction into like adulthood and being on your own and independent, which my parents kind of always preached to me. And I think out of state causes you to be pushed out of your comfort zone a little bit, which is helps for growth ultimately. Like the best way for that to happen is to kind of just go out there and see how you fare. So I think PLU has been a great community to help me cater that, as I've been able to make a lot of really important relationships and friendships, and also after college internship wise and in my major of business finance as well.
Thanks, Miles. I'm curious if you all could share if you're living on campus this year, and what residential hall, and if you're living in a themed living learning community within that residential hall, which are you living in? Tristan, would you like to share first?
Yes, I am living on campus this year as I was living on campus last year as well in the same dorm, Tingelstad Hall. It's like housing like a lot of the first year students and or the first year, second year students and the athletes and I'm on the health and wellness floor, I believe, and so that's been really cool. I really like my RA Zach, and he's always like a familiar face to see on campus and just always checks in, which I appreciate. But
I'm
yeah, the
glad.
dorms are actually pretty nice, which I was pleasantly surprised by.
Tucker, how about you? Where are you living your first year?
Yeah, I live on campus as well, and I live in Hinderley. So the community here is the community for creative expression. So it's a lot of like musicians, artists, like a lot of people in theater. So definitely can get a little loud sometimes, but I think it's inspiring to me to see um, just how uniquely people can express themselves. And I think it's emblematic of how comfortable they feel here and how comfortable everybody's able to let them be.
Yeah, totally. How about you, Miles? Where are you living this year?
I'm a residential advisor, so I'm also in Tingelstad, similar to Trislin. And I am in a first year unthemed wing, so we're inclusive to all, just like the university. And then I think being on campus has helped. I don't have a car, so I've just really been able to be ingrained into the Luke community, being on campus and being to experience everything. And then I'm gonna be an RA again next year, so.
Great. I myself was an RA when I was in college, and that was a really great experience to have to build that intentional community and get your housing for free, which is nice. Awesome. Thank you. And Katie, how about you? Where are you living this year?
Yeah, so this year and last year I've been in Steuben, which is it's on upper campus. Tingelstad's on lower campus and Hinderley's on the hill. It's still an upper campus dorm, but it's like on the hill, just to give y'all a little picture of the layout. But Steuben is the women's empowerment and gender equity community, which has been really cool. At least for me, as when I was a first year, I was really nervous about dorm life. And the kind of like we're not strictly women only because we have a couple like transgender friends and like non-binary friends that live here too, and that's great. But it just felt like a easier community to kind of bridge that gap for me at least. And so that was really cool. And it's also very like activism focused. So we have a lot of we do stuff to supply period resources and just have done a couple different things that are a little bit more active in creating space for women and non-binary folks on campus. And so that's been really sick. And then next year I'm actually moving off campus, but I wanted to mention I didn't have a car my first year. And I think I don't want anybody to think that like not having that doesn't mean that you're not connected not only to PLU, but also to the area, because PLU has a really awesome program that partners with our transit system in Pierce County, and you can travel a lot using public transportation. And I used that a lot my first year. And so I just wanted to make sure that that got said that
Yeah.
the public transit is really sick. And
Thank
can
you
get
so
a car.
much for that added point, Katie. That's really great. Everyone's going to be able to get where they need to.
Mhm.
And I'm so glad that you all have had positive experiences living in our residential halls and everything and building those intentional fostered communities within where you're living. My last question, I know we're running up on time here, but really quickly, if you could share why PLU, what is the one thing that has really stood out to you that you love so much about your time here? Something really quick. Trislin, are you able to share?
Yes, I feel like YPLU, I'd say it I would say the education opportunities that I've had here, I've been able to accelerate my 4 years here and hoping to complete my undergraduate in 3 years. And I'm looking forward to going to grad school hopefully after this, and just giving that or accelerating my program gives me like an extra year to be able to uh maybe take a gap year and build my experience to make me even more competitive for graduate school programs. And just yeah, the I liked that there was a lot of Hawaii people here, but also it was open to a diverse students, and I'm coming to the mainland, like that was something that I wanted to be a part of and challenge myself with, and just get a different sense of both new and also familiar.
Thanks, Trislan. Tucker, real quick, why PLU for you?
Yeah, I would second the way you're able to tailor your education. I also am trying to do my undergraduate in 3. So I'm not gonna like repeat any of the points that were made. But one little bonus I would say is I'm seeing pictures of back home, and the grass is like yellow and brown and gross. And
Yes.
then outside my window, everything is green. It's like 60. So that's definitely a perk.
Totally. I've been getting those pictures from my dad too. I know exactly what you're talking about. How about you, Miles? Why PLU?
I'd say outside of the education, like other panelists have been saying, I think the community at PLU is super unique. I've always wanted to go to a smaller school and really feel embraced and like kind of like everyone knows everybody. And also it allowed me to blend my basketball goals alongside education. So
Wonderful. Thanks, Miles. And Katie, you can round it out for us. Take it away.
You're probably all sick of hearing this, but it's really about the people. I think we've talked about this a lot, but the way that PLU has been, at least for me, what stuck out was the way that PLU intentionally talked about the people that come here, so the students, but also their faculty and their staff, and the way that they see the humanity of everyone, that they appreciate people for being people, has been really special to me. And then all the other things have just been bonuses on top of that.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end. I know we didn't have time for all of the questions I prepared, but that's a great problem to have, that you all had so many incredible things to share. Thank you all for joining us for this webinar. As an out-of-state student, I hope that you've been able to gain a little bit more insight from our current students who are, in the same boat as where you were a few years ago for them. And if you have continual questions that are popping up for you, current or you prospective students, or those of you who have actually committed to PLU, please utilize your admission counselor. They are your point person, your go-to person. They are here to help you and guide you and support you in your decision-making process. So we are here to help. We truly want you to have the best experience possible in choosing the place that's best for you. And we hope that it is PLU. But thank you all so much again for the time that all of you have taken. A quick round of applause for our panelists. Thanks for taking time for you. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Take care.